children we are about to meet are curious about a very special book called the Bible. You may have heard of it before. This book is about people who lived and believed in God thousands of years ago. They were called heroes of faith. There's also a lot about Jesus, who came down to earth to help us people. Now, the children will explore the Bible in more detail. Can it help them too?
Hi. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. I'm so excited about today's verse.
Oh, yes.
Let's spin the fortune wheel.
I think it will be yellow.
I think it will be blue.
No, it's red.
It's going to be page 1089.
Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
Blessed? What does that mean? And what does it mean to have a pure heart?
To be blessed simply means being as happy as you can be.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone who has a pure heart becomes like that.
Oh, I get it.
Having a pure heart means choosing the good. What you know inside is the right thing to do.
Oh, like don't talk badly about anyone else, for example?
That's right. And now you will hear about a man named Joseph. He is one of the heroes of faith of the Old Testament and an example in exactly that, keeping a pure heart. Joseph was the son of Jacob, and he was the second youngest of 12 brothers. They lived in the land of Canaan, which is Israel today. Jacob was particularly fond of Joseph, something his older brothers were jealous of. In addition, Joseph had some strange dreams. In the dreams, he stood in the middle with his brothers around him. Suddenly, they bowed to him, a bit like servants bowing to their king. Joseph dreamed this several times and in slightly different ways. But the message in the dreams was always the same. Joseph thought this was very strange, and he told his brothers what he had dreamed. They became angry. "We will never bow to him," they said to one another. "Who does he think he is?" They were so angry that one day they decided to get Joseph. Now he was going to feel their rage. They threw him into a well. The well had no water in it, but it was not possible to get out of it alone. Joseph must have been very scared. After a while, a group of men came riding. They were on their way to Egypt, a country far away. Then the brothers came up with the idea that they could sell Joseph as a slave. You could do that at that time. Then they would probably get rid of him forever. We do not know what Joseph thought as he went the long way to Egypt. But Joseph loved God with all his heart, trusting that God would help him, and God did. When Joseph came to Egypt as a slave, he was sold on to a man named Potiphar. Potiphar was the commander of the bodyguards of Pharaoh in Egypt. Potiphar realized that God took care of Joseph, that he was a very special man, and he did a good job. Where Joseph was, everything became good and safe, for God blessed Joseph. Potiphar therefore became fond of him and gave him much responsibility in his house. But Potiphar's wife was not a kind lady. Once she tried to tempt Joseph to be with her. Joseph knew that that was very wrong, both against Potiphar, who had been so kind to him, and to God. Joseph wanted to keep his clean heart, so he answered her, "How could I do this great evil, to sin against God?" Potiphar's wife became so angry that she took Joseph's robe and told her servants and her husband that Joseph had tried to be with her. Of course it was a lie. But Potiphar believed in his wife, and Joseph ended up in prison. Joseph was in prison for the second time, even though he was completely innocent. But the fact that he would not do the great evil to sin against God kept his heart clean. He did not let into his heart either hatred or evil thoughts towards those who had been bad to him. Therefore, God continued to be close to Joseph. He blessed him in prison, so everyone was happy with him, even the prison chief. There were also 2 prisoners who had been Pharaoh's servants. They began to have some strange dreams. They were bothered by the dreams and thought that they had to mean something. They went to Joseph, and since God was with him, Joseph understood the meaning of the dreams. He told them they meant that one of the servants would die and the other would return to Pharaoh's palace. It turned out to be true. The servant who returned to Pharaoh soon forgot Joseph and the dream. But a few years later, Pharaoh began to have dreams. Again and again, he dreamed a dream he did not understand. But since the dream kept coming back, Pharaoh realized that it had to mean something, a kind of divine message. Then his servants suddenly remembered Joseph, who was in prison. Joseph had interpreted his dream. Maybe he could interpret Pharaoh's dreams too. Joseph immediately understood what Pharaoh's dreams meant. God showed him. He told Pharaoh that God had sent them a warning that there would be 7 good years in Egypt, where the fields and animals would provide them with plenty of food. But there would come 7 bad years, with drought and little food and water. In the first 7 years, therefore, the Egyptians had to save food and grain for the 7 bad years. That way, they could survive. Pharaoh had never experienced a man like Joseph. He said, "Since God has let you know all this, no one is as wise and understanding as you. You will govern my house, and whatever you say, all the people will obey it." Joseph became head of all Egypt. Only Pharaoh was above him. Because of Joseph's pure heart, God could use him to save all of Egypt from a terrible famine. But something else also happened. For there was also drought and little food in Canaan, where Joseph really came from. His brothers therefore travelled to Egypt to obtain food. Joseph immediately recognized them, but they did not know who he was. As they bowed to him, as servants bow to their king, Joseph remembered the dream he had had when he was young. Joseph forgave his brothers. Now he could save his whole family, and finally got to see his father again. What his brothers had done with evil, had God turned to the good.
Wow, what a story. It really pays to choose the good and take care to have a pure heart.